you very much. Cheers, both. How ready are you for the apocalypse?
Not that ready.
No, me neither.
Not prepared at all.
Get the Vaseline in, that's the thing. Scientist Dr Lewis Dartnell's written a book about exactly what you need to do come the end of civilization as we know it.
Vaseline, which many of us carry in our handbags or our backpacks, is a very good accelerant. You can use it to help start a fire if it's windy and wet and cold. When you really want to get a fire started to, keep the cold at bay or cook food for you and kill germs.
How does Vaseline start a fire?
Vaseline's very waxy. It's based on kind of petroleum. So if you've got lip salve in your handbag or lipstick or hairspray, these are all chemicals which are very flammable in their own right. So they can help get a fire started. If you've got a tampon in your handbag, you can rip that apart and fluff out all the cotton that's inside, which again makes very good kindling for starting a fire.
Prepping. It's a growing trend, getting your house and family ready for the end of days, whether that's building a fallout shelter or just stocking up on baked beans. Pete Stanford is a prepper from South London. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning.
Tell us about prepping then. This is the thing. How have you prepped for an apocalyptic scenario? Why have you prepped?
It's as if we're all waiting on a knife edge. Preppers tend to get the reputation as if we're waiting for a real sort of end of days. The likelihood of that happening is going to be really far and few between.
Right.
People that were living in Cumbria that were affected by the storms and the floods, that was their apocalypse. They lost their homes when the storm had died down. They were still under 6 foot of water. So, how do you want to sort of label the apocalypse? In general, the public will think of it as like a solar flare, affecting the satellites, lack of communication, or a viral, whether it's a weaponized virus or a virus that takes people down, which then destabilizes society. You take the apocalyptic type scenario of the floods in Cumbria in the middle of England and up through north of England. It didn't bring society to its knees, but it affected local pocket areas. And if it wasn't for the communal spirit of people that could help out, for the people that were affected even worse, it would have actually brought them to a standstill. We've even got the people left over from the floods in the Somerset levels a couple of years ago. They're still getting over it. Some people have actually lost their homes permanently. A couple of years ago, it happened also around the River Thames near the Windsor area. So it's not necessarily about the end of days, but it's other things which are more realistic, which actually have more probability of happening. The power circuit going down, strikes where there's no petrol. Within 2 days, everyone's panicking, and that causes mayhem. So that's more of the sort of realistic things a prepper would be thinking about. Next question.
Well, I think you've answered every single question I was going to ask in that one answer, but you did it excellently. What are the tips?
Tips really is the way that my philosophy is as I get a lot of questions about, I'm just starting out as a prepper and, I'm into outdoor pursuits. So I know if I did have to leave my house as a last resort, which is termed as bugging out, like some people did in the floods, they had to get out of their homes and be put up with either with their family or hotels. I will make sure that I've got things that are relative to my environment. So I don't actually live in a built-up area where there are lots of people. So if there were problems, there wouldn't then be the competitive environment of other people struggling to get through, lack of food in the shops because there were strikes. Supermarkets only stock food over a 24-hour cycle within 3 days. If for some reason the transport can't get to deliver food, within 3 days the basic necessities are going to be out of stock. And if you've got a family, then you've obviously got more obligations and more responsibilities. Luckily, my family's grown up. Although we still interact with each other, they're more independent because they're now adults. So it's really adapting your priorities to the environment you're in. So if you live in an urban built-up area, then your requirements, because of your lifestyle in that area, would be different from someone who maybe lives more rural, where there is less competition with necessities that are needed. Plus, as well, in the rural area, you do have more natural amenities to use. So I have access to get to firewood. I have a store of firewood in my garage. I have 3 months of food. Located in different areas of my property, from indoors to outdoors. So really, it's just sort of thinking of what are the necessities that you need.
The bare necessities of life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, literally. Yeah, and it's not the paranoia, but if push came to shove, I am prepared to leave my house if I needed to. Yeah. I could survive with my survival skills, which are a leisurely interest as well that I do in my part-time. Not preparing for the apocalypse, but wild camping.
Be prepared.
Pardon?
Be prepared.
Am I prepared?
No, be prepared. Is that not the Boy
exactly.
Scout?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's. I think we're celebrating the centenary of the movement of the Boy Scout movement, which was their motto.
Lord Baden-Powell would be proud of you, Pete.
Yes, thank you very much. And I was actually in a scout group, Third Perival, I'll give him a name drop. We actually had his canoe, the framework of his actually original canoe in our scout hut. So there's quite a link to it.
You're a credit to Baden-Powell.
I'm a Boy Scout background.
You're a credit to the Scouts, you're a credit to the prepping community. Thank you, Pete.
And the third Perivale group as well.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Pete.
you. Good morning to you.
See you, Pete.
That's Pete Stanford.
Thank you.
Prepper
Cheers,
from
bye.
South East London. What was that about the third Perivale group?
That was his scout group.
All right.
Do you not remember your first? Were you a scout?
For 2 weeks.
Were you a Cub Scout?
Yeah.
I was only for 2 weeks as well.
Adam is nodding as well.
Yeah, how about that? Second Ordnance Cub Scouts.
Second what?
Second Ordnance Cub Scouts.
Second Ordnance Cub Scouts.
It wasn't our thing, but it was clearly Adam's thing. And that comes as no surprise at all.
Crack out the tent, put on the fire, get the sausages cooked.
Gang, gang, gooly, gooly, if you'll pardon the expression. It's 8:34.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
The BBC News on 5 Live.